Have you ever thought you'd love to start cosplaying as the Batman, but you're not quite ready to commit to putting together a full Batsuit? Well, my friends, have I got the cosplay for you, and that is the Drifter. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if it's your first time on the channel, I want to give you a very special welcome, and hopefully I can make it worth your while, because today I want to give you a full cosplay guide to the Drifter from the Batman, which is Bruce Wayne's kind of incognito mode as he's, going around the streets looking for crime and trying to scope out the Gotham underworld. Now, this is off the back of my complete Batsuit breakdown guide, which I just did recently. And as far as, throwing together a cosplay goes, a full Batsuit is pretty intensive. It's pretty full on. It's a lot. So if you're looking to get into cosplay and you're not ready to kind of tackle a full on Batsuit yet, the Drifter is actually a really good starting point for you, because it's actually where I started. It was my first cosplay straight off the back of watching the Batman, and I, got in my head, oh yeah, I want to definitely cosplay the Batman one day. I thought, you know what? Better start small, work my way up to it, and I'll just see how I go throwing together another one of the costumes from the film. Now, the Drifter is actually a super easy cosplay to put together. Because it's only made of a few everyday items, you can pick up a lot of them reasonably cheaply online or from any other local sellers you can find. But to make things even easier, I've compiled a list of everything you'll need down in the links in the description below. Now, this one that you see behind me here is not actually accurate to the film. It's got a few, it's pretty close, but there's a few inaccuracies just because I was putting this together before we got a lot of the behind the scenes footage that came out after the film. I was mainly piecing this together from the set photos that came out before the film released. So it's pretty close, but it's not 100%. Mainly the big one is just the jacket, the main overcoat, and then like the hoodie as well. They're slightly different on this one here, but when I get to them in this video here, I'll cover the actual screen accurate or more closely aligned screen accurate items that you can grab yourself. So, I promise you this is going to be the easiest cosplay you've ever had to throw together. So sit back, enjoy, and let's get into it. First up, I want to start talking about the hat. Super simple, super easy item. All you really need for this is a red baseball cap. That's it. Now, if you want it to look a little bit weathered and like a little bit used as it is in the film, you can either buy a brand new red one and just kind of, drive over it in your car a couple times, or you can actually purchase, there's some vintage ones that I've seen that I've linked down below that are like, they already look like they've had a bit of wear and tear in life to them. So if you're not wanting to do any weathering work on your costume, they're probably the ones to go with, or any old red baseball cap. As we slowly work our way down now, I want to talk about the face covering or the face gaiter or neck gaiter. Again, a couple different names for it. Now, again, it depends on the shot and the lighting of the shot and the color grading, but this can be anything from black to gray. The one I've listed down below is actually a 2-pack. It's got a black one and a gray one. So, it covers both your bases there. But again, another super easy item knocked off your list. All right, next up is gonna be the hoodie that he wears underneath that big main jacket. Now, at first, I actually just thought that was like a plain black zip-up hoodie, and that was it. So that's what I've actually landed with on mine. But then after these behind the scenes little featurettes came out, it's actually like a kind of brown fur-lined hoodie that we see in some of these behind the scenes shots and test footage here. So I'm gonna update mine eventually. Now, Uniqlo initially was selling these, but they're completely sold out now. I don't think they make them anymore. And if you Google it, you can see it listed on Google, but then it's just, once you go there, it's sold out. So I managed to find another one that's pretty close, and I've linked that down below. It's the one I'm gonna pick up to kind of replace the one I've got on here at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with the way that one is looking. Now, underneath that hoodie, there is actually like a plaid shirt of sorts that we can see he's wearing. I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not he's actually wearing that in the film, or whether it's just part of the costume design process where they were like, oh yeah, this kind of fits, because the only real way he can go from the Drifter to the Batman as quickly as he can is if he's wearing all of this stuff on top of the Batsuit. And I don't know whether he would actually go to the effort of putting on this plaid shirt on top of a zip-up hoodie and then another coat. I think it might just be part of the behind the scenes kind of costuming of it. So if you want to go like bang on accurate to what you see in these behind the scenes featurettes, you can get like any kind of gray plaid shirt, throw it on underneath. And when I have been cosplaying the Drifter, I've just been wearing just a random old button up. The plaid shirt, I don't think is actually ever seen in the film as being something that he's 100% wearing. I think it's just something they were testing as far as behind the scenes costume tests things go. Okay, I stand corrected because I paused this footage that I had playing behind me right here, and yeah, you can actually see it right there. So he actually is wearing that plaid shirt. So I was wrong. There you go. That's never happened before. All right, now let's talk about the big bomber jacket that he wears over the top. Now, there was a little bit of division online about what exactly this jacket was for a while, and I'm still a little bit on the fence about exactly what jacket this is or what it's supposed to be. Now, again, from these leaked set photos, I initially thought it was just a random old black bomber jacket that's like oversized. If you're gonna get one of these, you wanna make sure it's as baggy as it can be, because that's how it looks in the film, and also it's designed to, again, my headcanon is that he's wearing that over a lot of the Batsuit gear as well, so it needs to have a lot of space in it. While this one that I have here is black, I don't actually think it is black. I at least have conceded that the actual jacket is not black. Now, going from a bunch of different reference photos based on these behind the scenes featurettes, some Hot Toys stuff, and some costume test footage that's come out, I think it's somewhere between like a sagey green or a gray. Again, it really depends on what you personally feel like is gonna look best to you. I mean, in the film, it literally looks black. And then in the behind the scenes stuff, it looks more like this grayy, greeny, almost kind of bluey. It really is completely up to you, depending on how you want to portray your drift cosplay. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. Now, the main sentiment that I see going around online is that it's a Rothko MA1 bomber jacket. Now, the color of that is still a little bit up for debate. I feel like it's more of a gray. Some people are saying it's more of a green. But then also, some people have pointed out that it might be the branded MA1 bomber jacket, but it has, I think, a slightly different zipper to what is seen on some of these photos here. Now, I think the reason this gets a little bit divisive, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because of this photo right here and a lot of the photos surrounding this particular footage, which, to my knowledge, this is actually just a costume test. It's not actually what is necessarily the final version of it that is seen on screen in the film. And that's just based on a little bit of these few behind the scenes snippets that I've seen where the costume designers are talking about it, and Matt Reed is being like, when we tested Rob and we got this makeup running down his face and all this stuff. The reason I'm not necessarily sold on this being the Rothko MA1 bomber jacket, by the way, is that the pockets seem a little bit different. Like they have these kind of flaps on them, and then in these photos here and elsewhere, I can't actually see that flap as being present. Either my eyes are bad or I haven't looked closely enough, but I don't think that flap's there, or they've modified the Rothko MA1 bomber jacket. So pick any bomber jacket you want, truthfully, in any color, as long as it's not like bright fluoro yellow. I suppose that's not really incognito, but from the point of view of Batman or Bruce going out every night and trying to remain undercover, yeah, just something low key in a dark, dusky kind of color. It'll suit you just fine. Don't let anyone give you any crap for telling you your drift cosplay is not accurate, because Bruce Wayne, being the billionaire that he is, would have multiples of everything. At the end of the day, pick whatever jacket makes you the happiest. Screen accuracy be damned. All right, next up, we've got his wrist wraps. I say that like I'm wearing them, but I'm not. They're still on the mannequin over here. Now, these are just any old boxing wrist wrap that you can pick up, and I've linked one down below, but it's, again, the color is completely up to you, but it's more of a like kind of, I went for like, I think the color was like an ivory, because it's like an off-white. I think if you go completely white, it just might look a little bit bright. It might stand out as a little bit too clean and pristine. And of course, you can dirty them up, and I definitely recommend that with a lot of your costuming stuff to give it a bit of a weathered effect. But if you want to skip all of that, definitely go for something that's more of a off-white or cream or ivory kind of color. That'll save you having to kind of like dirty them up. You can still dirty them up. You can put a bit of blood on them with like some red pencils or paint or anything like that if you want to give that kind of battle-worn look. But yeah, super simple item. I've linked one down below, or just, you know, search for boxing hand wraps and you'll be able to find something just right. Now the pants are pretty simple. There's no real division online or confusion about what these are. These are very clearly the Caterpillar's men's trademark work pants. Now I've linked the exact same set that I got down below in the description, or you can actually go directly to Caterpillar's work site, I think, depending on whether or not they're available there or whether they ship to your country. But yeah, these are super simple. These are a little bit pricey because they're like actual genuine work pants, so they'll be able to withstand quite a bit of wear and tear. I mean, if you do any kind of manual labor work, that's great. You can kind of use them in your day job, and then also they double as a cosplay item. A lot of these items, by the way, just double as everyday items. So as far as money spent, it's ultimately stuff that you're gonna use anyway in your day-to-day life. So it's well worth the investment. It's not so much like the Batsuit, where it's like, if you buy a Batman cowl, you can't really wear that to work. I mean, you can, I don't know where you work, you can. But again, any old pair of work pants will do you fine. I've seen people throw together drift cosplay in just a pair of kind of ratty old jeans, which perfectly fits the vibe that Bruce is going for here. And he's probably almost even closer to what he's wearing in the drifter version of him that we do see in the comics, which is just really ridiculously low key. It's literally like jeans and a bomber jacket. Now, moving down to the boots, this is basically going to be a rehash of what I did in my full Batsuit guide, because the boots that he wears as the drifter are the exact same boots that he wears as the Batman. So your main screen accurate item is going to be these bad boys right here, and these are the CAZ-03 combat boots, and these are an Austrian Army combat boot, and you can pick these up on eBay, or there's a couple of other places online if you just throw in that name. Throw in that name in Google and you can find them under a couple of different names. Sometimes it's like Austrian Alpine Ranger boot. So these are technically the like screen accurate main Canon boots that he wears. I love these to death. They're just not the best everyday boot. So you're not gonna get as much use out of these as you would my second option, which I'll list in a minute. Now that option is actually these here. These are the TCX Heroes, and the reason these are another screen accurate option is because before the film came out, the set photos that leaked had the stuntman Rick English on both the Batman motorbike and the Drifter motorbike. So everyone online just assumed that these were the like Canon official boots. These are a really good everyday boot. They're a motorcycle boot. They're really sturdy. They're really comfortable. They're much more comfortable than these guys here. But I mean, both of these are really good options. So now if you're only looking to throw together the Drifter as a cosplay and you're not really looking to do the full Batsuit later on, you can honestly pick up any black boot that you like that comes close to that, whether that be on Amazon or any other shoe store or wherever. So no dramas there with whatever you want to do or whichever way you want to go. Alrighty, now we are onto the backpack, which was a little bit of a point of contention early on. Not so much contention, it was just that it was quite hard to ID the backpack for quite a while there. People struggled online for a while to kind of track down exactly what brand it was. I just tried to find as close a replica as I could, and I just ended up landing on this kind of like khaki, military-esque kind of backpack situation. In hindsight and upon reflection, you probably want to go for less of a military aesthetic and more of like a hiking aesthetic based on what it actually looks like in the film. I think the actual bag was ID'd, and it's this, hang on, let me check. I think it's an airless sports men's Olympic khaki backpack. Something. I think there's a few different versions of the name there. This was quite difficult for me to try and get a hold of here in Australia. And even now, when I try and find bags, or when I try and find that bag specifically, it's really, really hard for me to find something that lines up. So I am gonna try and get a more accurate version compared to this. Oh, side note as well, while we're on the topic of the bag, yeah, if you can get something that has a pocket in the side of it, he does carry like a kind of like metal flask of some sort that he does stick in the side. So whatever bag you do end up getting, make sure you have a pocket in the side of it so you can stick some kind of metal water bottle in there. If you want to go really accurate to his look in the film, that is. I think those bags by that name actually are out there. They're just a little bit hard to come by. So I've listed another really close option in the description. But if you can find this one, by all means go for it. It's just that here in Australia, I had no real chance. So I just kind of gave up. Also in the backpack, I decided I would throw in just a set of like ratty old binoculars. Well, actually, these weren't really that ratty and messed up before I bought them. I actually bought them brand new, but they were just a really cheap pair. And then I kind of scuffed them up, just, you know. It's just a cool prop to have, especially if you want to go out and do like any kind of drifter photo shoot. And especially because we see in the film, you know, Batman does a lot of scoping out with the binoculars and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's a cool prop to include. I don't think these actually work anymore because I've like had them out in the rain and I can't see anything. I literally cannot see anything out of these. Oh, sort of, actually. I probably shouldn't stare out the window with those. My neighbors are gonna call the police. Lastly, up on our list. Now this item's not necessarily crucial to completing your look for the drifter, but it's more of like a, if you really wanna do it, you can. But that's the helmet that he wears. So if you're a motorcycle rider, that works well with the, you know, if you decided to get your motorcycle TCX boots, maybe you want to get the helmet as well. But yeah, as far as a cosplay item goes, I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting the helmet because it is a legit motorcycle helmet. It is hella expensive. So the one that he wears in the film is actually and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this because I know literally nothing about motorcycle branding. It's a Shoei? Showy? Huh? X0 helmet in matte black. Now, it also has like a visor attachment as well that you can, I think is called the It's by the same brand, and it's, again, that Shoei X0 V480 Peak. Cool, okay. Again, that's I think like another 50 bucks on top of the helmet as a whole, which is like already 500-ish. So yeah, that is quite a hard item to swing from a like cosplay point of view. If you've got the cash and you're like you're a Bruce Wayne-esque billionaire, by all means go for it. It would be awesome if you could nail it, but it's something that I really wanted to get as well. But I can't justify the expense given that I don't actually ride a motorcycle. So that would just be incredibly frivolous, and my finances are already in absolute shambles after having put together this batsuit. So yeah, we're gonna hold off on that item, I think. Now, I actually have a bit of a Batman fan film kind of sort of loosely in the works at the moment. You might have seen my little kind of test footage video recently. And so I will probably upgrade a lot of my Drifter cosplay for that fan film, just because I want to try and have it align as closely with the on-screen version of the film as possible. So just to give you a little bit of an update on that space and what's going on there. The film was something that I've kind of had in mind for a while. I actually come from a bit of a filmmaking background of sorts. I went to film school straight out of high school and absolutely loved that, and then haven't really done anything with those skills for quite a few years. And I figured once I had completed the full bat suit and then the Drifter and everything, it was pointed out to me by a few people that, oh, Will, you should make a fan film, do something fun with it. And then at first I was thinking, nah, that's a lot of work. I don't know that I have it in me anymore to do something like that. But then as I mulled the idea over more and more, I was like, you know what, this is something fun that I could just kind of slowly piece together in my own time. So yeah, as far as when that's coming out, because I know a lot of people have seen me kind of loosely talking about that film over on my Instagram and here on YouTube. I don't really know when exactly that's going to really kick off. I have actually shot one sort of fight scene of this film early in the year, just because there was a location that I knew I had access to that I was soon going to not have access to. So I figured, I'll just put something together really, really quickly. And I might even do a bit of a breakdown video on that as a whole. But yeah, for anyone curious about that fan film, we'll be able to tell you more about it as soon as I know more about it, because at the moment it's very much a kind of run and gun, making this up as we go along situation. But I'm really excited about it. I have a kind of concept of an idea. I just need to properly get it all on paper, and then I can... Don't ever shoot without a script. It is hell on earth. It was so rough trying to do it on the fly. I was basically... And it was a really small crew as well. It was like only 2 or 3 of us, and we did it over 4 nights. So I'm hoping if I can properly get the rest of this fan film off the ground, it's going to be a little bit more streamlined, a little bit smoother than that. But all of that aside, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys just tuning into me. I do have a few more cosplay breakdowns coming through the pipeline. I've got a couple of Marvel ones, a couple of Star Wars ones as well. So yeah, I hope to see you on those ones, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video, guys. Peace out.